Yeah, you'd love to see that, and what you'd love to see more is getting them up to 4-1, a fantastic start in their league. Definitely feeling pretty good about that. You always love to come out feeling hot and heavy and being able to take down a Titan like CSP. Well, you're feeling pretty good on that front. That's what we like to see from some of our teams coming on in and playing today. And well, our map set is going to be very interesting to see when it comes to these two teams. That is for sure.
Just realized that my mic was muted the whole time when saying that intro, but yeah, wow. We got the maps for the series: Hacienda, Skyline, Protocol. So if you're a fan of Protocol and this one goes the distance, well, this is the map set for you. But if you're a fan of Hacienda and Skyline, that's what we're guaranteed for the first two maps, and that's what I'm excited to see. I talked to a couple of these teams leading up to the series, and for CSP Esports, they were kind of mentioning that their favorite maps are Skyline, Search and Destroy, and a red card hardpoint. And when you kind of take away the fact that we don't have a red card hardpoint, we do have a Skyline, Search and Destroy. Hacienda, kind of like red card in the state of you get those early rotations, you have those ARs on power positions quite often, and you're going to really see some takeover moments if you allow those ARs to really get into those positions unchecked. So this is a map for CSP, or a map pool for them, that it really feels like plays to their strengths for these first two.
I'll be definitely very curious. I mean, what was interesting to me when I was even looking at the bans, it was just a triple vault ban across the board from CSP coming on into this, which just is kind of interesting. Sometimes you just have to admit that you do not like a map and you do not play good on it. But what it does kind of tell me too, Colin, we know that vault can be a little bit of a bang out, right? It's easy to kind of put the pace on it to really start flying around this map and apply a lot of pressure. So that tells me that CSP is just not really ready for a lot of that, right? To really not kind of have that pressure really put on them. But when I kind of do that and I look at this, map set, Skyline's the only map that I feel like really leans on into that, and that's on a Search and Destroy. So it's a little bit different game mode when it comes to it. So I'm excited to see this map set. Let's kick it on off the Hacienda hardpoint, as we are going to see Aspect open it on up with a kill onto Apollo, but it's Justin with a two-piece to answer on back.
And that's what I like to see from Ottawa. This team relatively new, not much experience playing together, but they say they have experience learning from CCL royalty, Ethan Too Nice, Lightning, and Hoop Tape Herbie. So with the three of them at the helm of this Ottawa Braves team, you have to think that this Ottawa should at least find some footing throughout this season to make me look for a playoff run. And with a 3-1 start, the win here against CSP would surely turn heads.
Not too bad, but it's made some early points for CSP on the board. You can see Token in the back being able to find one, but Cozy gets some great shots, just a little bit missing on being able to finish that one. But it's some close spawns that'll let CSP start flooding this Lambo hill that's coming on in. I like where Aspect is currently on sitting, trying to clear out some of these corners. Can you slide on through? It is just a nice setup though from the Ottawa Braves that will stop that in their tracks. And it's a full spawn out right now for CSP here in the back. When they push through this ramp, retake this hill. This is something we saw all weekend long at the CDL major. Team spawning in back here and just full flying at the hill. And that's exactly what CSP is going to do.
Yeah, man, it's a tough one to break too if you're the team in the back. So impressive from CSP to make that happen. Not only that, Cozy looking to push through, traded by Token. And it seems like the Braves want to take one more shot at this. Token with a nade in, looking for the slide. 3 players to deal with it, and he's shut down at the gates. Justin falls as well. Spawns for Ottawa over towards New, and this is a team that said that they like to play Skyline and Protocol hardpoint. And when you're thinking about any way to kind of resemble maps like those, you're looking at maybe a P4, P2 hill to go your way, but you're going to P3. You have the early setup. Let's see if this pays off.
I like what the Ottawa Braves are doing. We're seeing Justin, he was kind of playing a little bit of a cut, finds one, stops that rotation on over here. Apollo makes some work onto point, will get cut on down, but it's yet again another 2-piece from Justin to help them reclaim the point. You'll be able to setting on up, but it's Aspect from the heavens. You're able to find one. You manage to surge on out, maybe bring this player down. You can. You start opening up the point. You got one more. You have to sit in here, but it's a Hellstorm from Aspect from above. You get the team kill, but I think you're still pretty okay with it. And look at this, Jakers. You find the spawners on the back, and it's another team kill from Aspect. He's popping off on the enemy team. He's popping off on his own team.
That is unfortunate for CSP, but for the Ottawa Braves, that is scrap time that just closes this lead that could have been even more for CSP. You also get the Hellstorm away from Aspect, so Strikes out of it. A break here for Ottawa Braves. Could flip this lead your way, so you need some of these kills to go your way. Some of the opening fights, though, they don't, and CSP will have that opening setup.
Again, trying to make some moves on that top. Some great trades there. You missed the first one. You get punished for it on the back, and it's just a couple more of your teammates getting taken on out. Will cause a full spawn up, but look where Jakers is here on the top. You catch Justin immediately off the spawn. You make your way to this top mid. You don't let them take this control. You get taken on out, but that's great information for the team. Kojo getting immediately deleted. Justin and Token to follow. It is just no opportunity to get into this point right now. CSP holding on strong. Starting to see some of these spawns come on in. Can you start rotating on over for new? Maybe you can. You squad up as a team, but the Fountain Hill popping back on up. CSP, they're not too far away from being able to look down in onto this.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was worried about for CSP just coming alive in some of these money hills. The ARs get set up, and it just seems indomitable to try to break it. Jakers as well doing a great job at staying active around the map, just running through routes and finding kills here and there to disrupt the Ottawa Braves setup. You need Ottawa Braves to have a little bit of a cleaner rotation in the second set. At least looking towards that P2 to have a better setup. They had the better spawns. They had the players trapped in the back, and it let them back in. So Ottawa have a lot to work on in the second set if they want to close this lead.
Well, Justin, the man on your screen, has been the one finding a lot of these elims. Dropping down into the point. You'd love to clear out this bottom side, but it's not going to happen. 3 fall for the Braves. It's going to allow CSP to make their way onto the point. Get a little bit of this last few remaining scrap time as Lambeau Hill is about to pop it. Well, you did all this work to secure P1 as P2 comes online. CSP is already waiting there, and look at where Bala is sitting. It's here in the back, holding it on down, waiting for some of these players to push on through. You get some good shots on out. You manage to miss the back one, but that's going to be good information for your team. You see the arrows immediately start turning. You get those mid spawns on in. You're feeling pretty good of your CSP right now.
You got to be careful here for Ottawa. This is where you could be trapped in the back. We've seen teams all weekend long set up a spawn trap on this P2 hill through the gates. Token needs to get in. These are some big fights, but coming out on top is CSP. You get the flip for Ottawa, so that's going to give you a chance at least to have some element of surprise. But since that P4, it has been nothing but success for CSP, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop now.
Justin making some last minute efforts to maybe get these few remaining moments, but it's going to be all for naught. Got Kojo playing over here towards the rock, hoping to potentially catch them on a rotation on out. Look at number 4, able to slip on through. That's going to be Jakers up here at the top, trying to clear out Office. Make your way down into the back, and you find a timing, and you manage to get that wrap. You got Token on the hunt here, maybe seeing some of this read, understanding that Jakers has made their way on through. Do you get the timing? You do. That's a huge pickup right now for Ottawa. Hopefully can set themselves up, but no, Bala's here in the back, and it's a Hellstorm in the kill feed that will secure you the point. But it's some close spawns right now for Ottawa. They're starting to flood on through. CSP, can you hold this one on in? If you manage to do it, we can see the map end here.
Another streak. Lots of time to finish this one off. Spawns in the back, but the Hellstorm is going to deal with that pressure. Kojo caught in wine. Justin hops into the contestant. That should be enough to at least send it to another hard point, but just looking at the lead for CSP, doesn't look like that's going to stop their reign of terror here on Hacienda anytime soon. Players sending themselves at the scrap time for Ottawa, and the rest of them racing to get to new. You have a 2-on-2 for this rotation to P4 for Ottawa to stay alive.
The light's a little bit too bright in the eyes for Apollo here, as he is 4 in 22. Not a great map. Justin, your teammates have been having a hell of a time, but you need to pick up the pace there for sure, because you got CSP is making some moves, as Cozy will be able to find one, but it's gonna be a team kill with the nade. Jakers playing around this rock. You only need 12 more points if you are CSP here, but Ottawa are not going to make it easy. Kojo from back Lambo looking up over. Can you rip him off the heady? You're able to slide on forward. I like this teamwork. Token gonna be the entry man, finds one. Can you find 2? Can you find 3? Token with a huge 3-piece opens up this hard point. It is 4 now for the young man, as you've been able to hold this one one on in, but it's not over yet. You still have to hold it on in. You get 3 more seconds from CSP. We'll clutch this one on up, but I believe we maybe are going to new. Nope, it's going to be Aspect from the back. Cuts them on down. CSP take game number 1.
It's absolutely lights out on Hacienda from the number 16 team in the top 25 of College COD. Apollo having a tough game for the likes of the Ottawa Braves, having almost as many kills as there were team kills on the side of CSP, but to each their own. A couple of confidence breaks there from Ottawa Braves at the end to just keep things prolonged at P4, but ultimately after the first set of rotations came through, it just looked like CSP hit a whole new stride on the map. Cozy 22-13, Bala 23-16, Aspect 26-10, just players having their way across Hacienda. And even when Ottawa were able to get those breaks, when they were able to have a little bit of time to go their way, immediately off the spawn, they lost it. They just could never get the setup, win the fights that were crucial. And with Apollo having a game where you drop 4 kills in a hard point, that's less than what Scrap did the other day. That is just unacceptable.
Yeah, Apollo's performance has me saying Marron, that is for sure. But man, I mean, I gotta assume maybe something's going on there. Overheating a little bit. 694 damage. Not exactly the numbers you want to be seeing coming out of your teammate. But you can see here, it was pretty close through those first 3 points, 66-53. But it was into this first P4 where we can see CSP. They just took it away, and basically what we're seeing 30 points from the first P3 to the second P4 is honestly kind of insane. And when we look at CSP, well, it's just a graph going up, and it does not stop.
Stocks just rising for CSP Esports. Just look at P4 to P2. 3 points for Ottawa Braves. I mean, that P2 rotation is something that you really need to just at some point think as a team. We have to rotate, set up at this hill, make sure that we're blocking those back spawns, and get some initial time off this. At least have a setup that gives us a chance to come back from what was a terrible deficit after P4 and P1 in the second set of rotations. And it just was never there. There was no really leadership to say, all right, we just need to give up on what we're trying to fight for and just work on something new. It was just trying to break from the front over and over again, beating your head against a brick wall. And you see that CSP, they were happy to take those fights, and they were looking good as well, really sharp when it came down to the slaying and showing, why they're in the top 25 here in College COD. And for this team who told me that they haven't lost a map all season, their goals are to win the division, perform well in playoffs, and that's a good season for them. I mean, with performances like this against the Ottawa Braves and continuing to keep up that undefeated map streak, this is a team that really looks dangerous so far in the 2025 season.
I mean, you had 3 members from the CSP squad putting up over a 2.0 in that map 1, and I feel like that's everything I needed to see, especially when we get ready to move to this Skyline Search and Destroy column, because, we saw in that last series earlier here today, so the Skyline HP, and okay, we know that's a bang out. Search and Destroy, it can get mixy very, very quickly. And seeing some of the aggression that we saw out of CSP in that map number 1, Hacienda, a map that really kind of relies on you hitting those rotations and playing cuts really well, it kind of bodes well for them when it comes to the Skyline. I think if they keep up that aggression onto the Ottawa Braves, we could see a very one-sided score here. But we'll have to wait and see, because, Search and Destroy, we say it's what wins championships. It's always the game mode that somebody can come on out and really catch you by surprise on. Ottawa Braves definitely have an opportunity to tie this up into a 1-1 series. That is for certain. Yeah. Skyline Search and Destroy, though, it's always a little weird.
It is, but, as the season goes on, it's been growing on me. This map, even shown yesterday in the grand finals, has so much depth to it in terms of bait tactics, in terms of just trying to dictate spacing on the map. And so I think either one of these teams can really show their Search and Destroy prowess on a map like Search and Destroy, and just how far they can pull their strat book and see if they can try to take a win here on this one. Ottawa with an advantage, 3-on-2, looking for the retake.
I'll make that a wow. I don't even have the opportunity to say what it's going to become, because they do a great job sliding on out, finding the final 2 members of CSP. Round number 1 going towards the Ottawa Braves. Justin kicking us off with 2 apiece in this round. feeling pretty solid. I feel like just as we came on over to the map, we were watching people fall. Maybe a little bit of an aggressive push from CSP here in this round one. Sometimes you use these early rounds as a little bit of a heat check, kind of get an idea of what each team is going to do as a strategy. You don't always have the time to do the complete VOD review that you'd like on your opponents here in the CCL. Sorry, or not the CDL. You don't get to know who you're fighting, a couple months in advance. Okay. But gonna make some reads here. It's gonna be all about the mid-round adjustments. Those are things I'm definitely gonna be looking at. We're seeing basically a 3-1 split on the defense from CSP right now. Justin able to slip on through. A thief in the night, finding in the back. You're able to find one, but as you do that, 3 of your teammates get taken on out. Justin in a 1v2, not able to stay alive. CSP answered back very cleanly in round number 2.
It looks like Ottawa just wanted to fight fire with fire from round 1, just going for that, we have no trophies. Let's bang out mid, see if we can catch that timing over towards A, and it just doesn't work out. Justin gets to Jim, and he actually finds the kill to the player that was sitting back piano, but everybody else loses their fight across the map, and CSP just had full control of that A site. Everything was shut down, and that's where CSP shows that their slaying can really take control of those defensive rounds. And now seeing them on attack, it was a bang out towards A last time. It looks like it's going to be quite the same this time as well. Everybody out to the mid. You can lose that first blood, you trade it. Looking for this bomb plant is Aspect, and he should be gifted it.
Lying alongside the bar. Ola will get cut down on into the back. It's a 3v2 right now. Kojo, though, might have the opportunity to make some moves, but you got that glass shattering. It's going to be the exact audio cue that you need. He's still looking on up here. No, you drop on down into the back. You will be able to find Cozy. Kojo still into the 2v1. Bomb has been planted, though.
Lots of corners to check. No information on where Cozy's actually sitting. Aspect was over towards A, but with so much time passing, could literally be anywhere. Stun through mid probably gives away that Kojo was up top catwalk, and with 12 seconds left, this rotation is just taking way too long to make happen. A 1v2, there's no time for the defuse now, and he's just seen a player, makes it a 1 versus 1, but it doesn't matter. The round goes to CSP as they go back to back. Kojo finds the 3 kills, loses the round though. CSP Esports taking their lead on Skyline, where honestly for Ottawa, it was a really good start to it. You get that first blood, you have a chance for Apollo to actually delay the plant, and while that was happening, Justin was hitting a flank underneath vents, but with how long that flank came from Justin and Kojo being really disconnected from Apollo gets overwhelmed, loses that spacing towards couches, and then Justin gets caught on the flank. It just seems like everything is so separated right now from Ottawa.
It's like I like the play calls that the Braves are trying to make here, but it just feels a little disjointed, where if their timings line up a little bit better, they could be these really clean, successful rounds. We can see here, bomb has been dropped in mid. Kojo drops on into the back, and it's going to be a little bit of a flurry of trades here as CSP win their 3rd round off basically just getting some opening picks and then putting the aggression out towards Kitchen back into the C-Dom side, and it's just a little bit rough. And yeah, it's just playing as a team right there. You see Apollo swings on out for the trade, but it doesn't matter. An Aspect has you into their sights. A very clean and easy kill for him to be able to put them on up here. Now, offense has been a little bit where I feel like CSP, I haven't seen some real good strats or movement around the map. I would love to see that here in round number 5. Really kind of showcase they know what they're doing here in the search and destroy.
Ottawa are just being too cute with it. They just need to do something, whether it's right or wrong, do it together. As you can see, that CSP are doing that right now with a hit to B.
Hey, I asked for some sort of game plan, and well, a full sprint up cat to bang out B is one way to do it. But Justin and Token, they're going to answer this one on back, but it's not going to be enough, because it's a nice clean setup for CSP. Puts them up 4-1. We talked about aggressiveness coming on into the map. We saw it in the Hacienda hardpoint. We said, hey, are they going to be able to keep up that same level of aggression? 3 people sprinting down cat straight at B. A little unheard of. We saw it work yesterday, but did not expect to see that here today.
It's just, it's allowed to happen because you have nobody watching for the cross on catwalk. So you leave that space, and CSP are happy to take it as soon as they see they're uncontested in that spacing. And you just see that the sure thing that when CSP sees it, they do it together in that moment. Ottawa so separated across the map, trying to hit so many different individual gunfights. They just need to do something together for once. And look, Bala, he's found a way through again.
These vent plays, as we've seen Skyline come on into the map pool more and more as these plays happening on through. Back. Oh!
That's what you get. That's karma.
Trades? Any
He
trades?
jumped off the map.
Why? Okay. Okay. Well, I guess that's kind of a trade. Bomb trying to go down at A. Will get found on out. Aspect pushing through Piano. Do you find this timing on these players below you? You find Kojo. That's one. The other player will fall. CSP, after a hilarious round, will manage to put us on map point.
I'm saying, we got that in 4K. Ball up. That's karma. That's what you get. Unfortunately, Justin just jumped off the map after, so it didn't really matter too much. But hey, I'm just glad that that Bala got what he deserved for trying to go for the assassination attempt. But 5-1 up.
It was like I thought it was just like he's trying to get like a quick kill so he could hit the zip really fast and hit a nasty timing.
I think I know Bala was going for the assassination there. Everybody knows.
You know.
9-3 though from Aspect. How about this player here? He's 4 in a row, and he's looking to put this away.
Oh, this is gonna be a good way. Some early shots. That player's stunned. You get him taken on out. Got one down in vents below you. That'll let Aspect fly on forward. And yeah, you get some tags coming on in from that bottom side. It's A-okay as he's able just to kind of slow it down. And Bala's taking a position, looking up towards P2, kind of looking across, trying to help out the teams. But he actually is going to take it out from Kojo, who's up here towards these skylights. Aspect playing on the catwalk. Will manage to push on out, find one more.
Seen this already today. Reason this can't happen again. 1v3 for Aspect, brought into a 1v2, and he has been lost. 6 in a row. Could be the clutch to end it, and it would be 8 in a row. And you look at this from Ottawa. They are sticking together. Bomb is down at A. Aspect has a lot of work to do.
Oh, I thought it was about to happen there. You find one at the top, but it's a great gunfight. Ottawa Braves, they stick in it. It's not going to happen just yet. They'll get one more round on the board. But I like this token. Just a little bit of a shimmy. You pull on up. You get some of those headshots on in there with this Jackal PDW. Gonna be lights out. But you still got one more round. It's a tough hill to climb if you are the Braves. But hey, we know it just takes one round at a time. CSP, though, on defense right now, they've looked very, very clean. What's going to be this offensive strategy from the Braves?
Wouldn't be a full sale, but it's the next best thing. And that's going to be a little bit tough. You lose Apollo. Justin has found his way through again. Chased in behind. Cozy gets too close. Justin trades out, but Jakers keeps that advantage. Stun. They know Justin's down here, and you'd imagine the collapse is going to happen. No, it's the nade itself. Puts Token in a 1v3. Bomb in hands. That glass shattering is going to give all the information that you need on where this player is up top. Drop to 39 health. The chase is on. Cozy looking to finish this one. Token's got nowhere to go.
Don't want to take this as a series of 1v1s, but you've put yourself in the shower trying to maybe wipe off some of the stench of this map, but it's just not going to be enough. It's a 6-2 for CSP. And I got to say, a very, very clean 6-2. That's all I got to say. Aspect on your screen here. Definitely an MVP for the squad in the search and destroy. Putting the team on his back, finding a lot of those early first bloods, a lot of those early engagements. 12 and 4, a 3.0 KD for the S&D, ladies and gentlemen.
11 non-traded kills, 1,300 damage. I mean, Aspect was doing so much for the team, really showing up. And I'm not taking away from the rest of the squad because everybody was having themselves a game. I mean, it's not just one player that makes it a 6-2 at the end of the day, Dan, but really Aspect putting in a lot of work there for his squad. Ottawa on the other side, I mean, there were some moments there from them that I was really impressed with. I think overall, the lack of coordination, the lack of strategy from them is what really kept them behind from CSP. I think for Ottawa and a lot of their attacks, they were going for default plays, just trying to find that first blood, really systematic, fundamental COD. And as soon as they went from point A to point B, they didn't know where like point C, D, E, F, G was. It was just you get to that spot, you hope to find the kill. If that kill doesn't come, what do we do next? Because CSP are already trying to, you know, take the space that we don't have and flank us. It was really plain from Ottawa Braves. And I think that really shows in the scoreboard that we see here.
Well, it was like in a couple of these rounds where I was asking, okay, CSP, you've done a great job kind of just holding on in and, you know, being able to kind of hold on. I believe it was in that round number 5 where I said, I want to see something on attack. I want to see some sort of coordinated effort, you know, because I feel like without it, that they were maybe relying a little bit too much on gun skill. And that's when we see 3 of those players just fly up catwalk immediately onto B, and they just take control of it. And it's a very quick round. I mean, look at how many of those 6 rounds, 5 of them coming down to just basically pure outslaying of your opponents. Only one of them, that round number 3, is where it's an actual bomb plant, and it's where we see sort of the 2v1 where yes, all of you get eliminated, but it's still just without, you know, enough time to defuse the bomb that's there. So yeah, kind of, Colin, what that kind of tells me, with a 250 to 82 Hasi hardpoint, a 6-2 Skyline search and destroy, I mean, I don't know if this protocol control is really going to go your way or not.
I mean, you really never had a moment there where Justin just kept on going into gym, where maybe somebody said, you know what, I'm feeling myself right now. Let's quad hit catwalk. If I don't get this kill, trade me. We have the site. It's just that one split decision that said, you know what, let's make this happen together. And for going into a protocol control, that does have me worried because this is a map that if you're not talking to each other, trying to figure out how to break out of your spawn on offense, or, you know, on defense, how to push a spawn trap of your own, this is where things can get a little bit out of hand. We saw in the Hacienda hardpoint how many times Bala was set up on a power position with his aims and was just preying on players coming off of spawn or trying to turn a corner. And this is a map where you can find yourself in a very similar situation.
Well, we mentioned it earlier. I think like we would be remiss if we didn't mention it here again. Hopefully these players have been scrimming, have been putting their work in the lab. We do have that B point here on protocol being moved from that bottom open side right up here. You can see it right on your screen to this P2 area. It gives the offense just a little bit more opportunity to potentially push to that site and be able to hold it. But will you be able to hold it is really the question that's there. I do like it. Opens up this bottom side sort of server room as a little bit more of a push point that you can kind of maybe hit some wraps, hit some timings on. But from what I've been seeing from CSP so far, I really feel like they are going to be setting themselves up well on this map, especially knowing the types of spawn traps that you can put your opponents on in. You know that is about to be locked and loaded for CSP.
Look, this is also the first split in College God for this season. This is week number 3. There are going to be disparities in skill when you're mixing a vast amount of teams together. And for Ottawa, it seems like there's a lot to work on, a lot to learn. They know that. They've told me that they're not the best team out here, but they still have that will to get better. And in the coming weeks, after the first split is done and you head into the second split, Ottawa Braves can look to get some wins under their board and hopefully find some confidence playing other teams.
And we've definitely seen some signs of life from them in this series alone. Definitely don't want to count them out on yet, but you can see here Kojo tries to move on forward and kind of just get caught in a very awkward situation. Logan's going to surge on forward. You find one, but it's a team kill from Justin. A grenade that'll land on top of your dome, bring you on in, but thankfully it's just enough to get you back onto the 8 point. You'll clear this one back down to 2 ticks. You stop that happening from right now. Cozy from top window, trying to get in some of those shots. Might buy you the time to maybe find the timing onto Justin. Strider in hand. The shots are there. You can't manage to land it. A nice turn from Justin, but thankfully the teammates are there for the trade. And I am seeing a hostage being taken in the kill.
Yeah, that was Kojo that was taken hostage. So, unfortunate for sure. Looks like no karma this time, but they're struggling to finish off this A zone. Aspect getting mixy, finds 2 early picks close up, almost gives himself up. The stack is on towards A, and there's presence at B as well. You can see the spawns in the back of Grandma's looking to rush over towards the zone. They need the kills on the cross. They get them. 3 go down. That could have been very scary if you're Ottawa Braves in that moment. You still have a player in behind to worry about. That's Jakers, and off spawn, you need players to go big again.
Well, Justin wants to be that guy. Unfortunately, he will get cut on down. They've started making their way over to B. About to have the second tick contained. It's there. The stack is in. You're seeing this fly on through. Is this going to be a round one offense? Only 8 lives left for the Ottawa Braves. You got Token making their way onto the point, doing the Lord's work as you've been able to find 2. But is it going to be enough here, Colin? That's my worry. Thankfully, you get Cozy taken on out in the mid, but it's just trades on trades here. You're up 3 if you are CSP. 2, as I say that. Lives not maybe fully in your favor. You got to still be a little bit careful.
Token's in behind, 9-3. Having himself a game on this protocol control. Really the life of the party for the Braves. Still one segment at B. You still have some work to get done. Kojo now top triple can be an issue. He's going to jump right out of there. Gives up the power position for the kill. Hopefully not going down. No lives on either side, but you can see that there's a player looking to make a difference. It's Jakers going up the elevator in Grandma's.
Aspect trying to maybe slow this down just a little bit. We kind of move down into the S&D. 4 versus 2. Aspect will find 1, but Kojo is able to answer on back. It's a 3v2. 30 seconds remaining here on the map. Apollo taking on out. It's a 3v1. Kojo, last one alive. Got to make it happen. You have the triple stack on in. You find 1, but you can't manage to get the snap onto the others. CSP coming down. You get an offensive win. I think it was a lot closer than they really wanted it to be.
The silver linings is that was a lot closer than I'm sure a lot would have expected after watching the hard points. And you don't give up that last segment at B, so only 5 ticks for CSP. So heading into an offense of your own, you walk away with an offensive win, which off of the new changes to that B zone is possible now for a lot of teams. This is something where Ottawa Braves can still keep themselves in this series. Not to mention that Justin has help this time. Token 10-5 is really turned up here in map 3.
Very impressed with Token in that round. It was really just getting lost in trips. It was such a hard kill and was just being a thorn in the side of CSP. Unfortunately for him, though, the rest of the team not really able to kind of hold those power positions and make sure CSP is not able to surge on forward. So while Token, yes, you're finding some success. Hopefully you get some of those communications to the team, because as we come on in here in a round number 2, CSP doing a great job finding some of these early eliminations. Aspect has surged on forward. Are we going to start seeing the spawn trap come on through? Well, no. Token, not going to let that one happen. You find a great elimination. You start flying on forward. Could be towards A. We're starting to see CSP kind of start to set up.
Shots there on a Cozy. Apollo out heli, making some noise. All on the chase. Picks him up. 4 in a row. Now has a spot that can just punish these players off respawn and kick this spawn trap into place. Kojo wins a big fight over towards top double. Now some presence to pull some attention back onto B. The time is stopped at 20.9. So this is where you're looking at the stack to get you some progress over towards this zone. A couple players still taking their time to rotate out of CSP. So this is free progress that you're getting. Unfortunately, the kills don't go your way. It's Token all alone. Doesn't even get that second segment cemented either. Looking to get lost inside the ladder room. Second chance here, 15 seconds. He's got to make a play. Turns around, wins it, but Bala's there. 3 down again. Justin out towards A. Last chance for Ottawa in this offensive round.
This is kind of a Hail Mary, right? You find that elimination, you slide in onto A. You just want to stop this time. It's only 10 seconds here. Bala tries to do their best with the aims in hand. But we get 3 onto A, so they're starting to take this one on through. But it's going to be CSP. It looks pretty clean in the feed to me. They find all 3 off the point. The last final remaining seconds. Can you manage to bring them on down? It's actually a teammate that will stop this, and I don't think you're able to get onto the point in time. CSP looking pretty good here. They'll take round number 2 on defense, putting themselves on map point and, more importantly, series point.
Those teammates flagged a couple of the setups back on Hacienda. That for a second, Kojo may have been blessed, but not this time, it seems, Dan. So CSP 2-0, like you said, sweep here would mean a sweep in the series. You got Jakers 15-9, Bala 16-9, both just kicking up dirt in that spawn trap. Ottawa Braves had some good moments over towards B, almost that second ticket progression, but with only 1 segment, I think that offense gonna have to go nuclear here in round 3 and beyond.
2 early eliminations for CSP should hopefully set you up beautifully. Ottawa Braves here on the attack, trying to make something happen. They'll make their way onto that B point pretty early on. And Cozy finds one and the top, though. See, they are split right now. CSP on the attack, rather. My bad. But still, either way, kind of hard to tell sometimes from how much they are just shooting laser beams at their opponents. Ripping them out of that top trips, hanging on out here. Bala 18-9 right now.
Oh,
Doing their best to get the whip. Oh my God.
filthy shots coming out from Bala. He's having his way. As Justin tries to start that spawn trap that he was so annoying with back in round number 1. CSP able to break that. Hop over towards A. Third segment going to be cleaned up. Another minute added. It is 3 down again. Looking for the transition. You have Jakers in the spawn. He's not going to find the kills. So you're able to break out for the Braves, but this is where you need to put your foot down. Justin going for the full flank, it seems.
That was a fantastic way to put them in the back. And even though, yeah, you get a little bit of an overheat from Jakers, you get all the information that they're spawning in here. But Token's able to find 2. Opens this one up. You see Justin immediately turn around, start pushing on forward. Jakers yet again finding himself up here in the top.
Dead.
That's a full 4 dead yet again. 21-13 right now. You do have A fully captured. You only need 2 segments on B. You gotta play TDM right now if you are CSP. Let's be honest.
They don't need to.
Not over just yet.
2 seconds in. Apollo going for the flank. Can he be the one? Not this time. 10 life advantage. The stack is in. Players spawning up for Ottawa Braves as humanly far away as possible from this B zone. Aspect's gonna jump on, finish things off. And for CSP, the number 16 team in our top 25 of CCL, they finish their week 3 match 1 with a 3-0 sweep over their opponents. And they made it look clean.
Yeah, very, very clean. I mean, you know, they came out swinging in that hard point. They make the skyline look good. We were questioning with the control. How is this going to look? Well, this thing, the scoreboard tells you exactly what you need to see. 28-12 from Bala, 21-11 from Jakers. Some great stat lines here across the board. I think it's not 20 untraded kills from Bala. And that alone might just tell you the story of how that control went, because, yeah, it was definitely a fry fest from CSP. Unfortunately for the Ottawa Braves, they just felt like they couldn't really get out of the spawn traps. They couldn't really get anything started. Constantly getting onto points and getting ripped off. Tough scenes from them.
This is something that I kind of expected too from this team. I mean, you know, coming out and saying that, you know, they're relatively a new team with little to no experience playing again with each other, and you know, still trying to learn the game in its own right. There are some, I'd say, growing pains you're going to be having as a school like Ottawa Braves, and you know, with people like Ethan Too Nice, Lightning, Hoop Tape Herbie behind them, just trying to coach them into what could be. Split 1 might be very difficult, but Split 2 is where we can see the Ottawa Braves kind of revitalize and look like a brand new team. And I think that this is a team that is going to improve quickly, has a lot to work on, but has the will to put that work in. And I'm hoping to see them turn around in the future. But for CSP on the other side, I mean, they are clinical, Dan. I mean, just to kind of go over the series in general, 250-82, 6-2, 3-0. It doesn't get cleaner than that unless you're CMCC in our first match of the day. But for CSP, which is number 16 in our top 25, I mean, they are making, I'd say, some arguments on potentially pushing even deeper into the top 25 standings going into week number 4. And this is a team that definitely has the firepower to make it happen behind Bala and Jakers. Although I did see some moments throughout the Skyline or the Protocol that they were overextending, kind of giving up, and I'd imagine that teams in the top 25 would punish that. So a lot to look forward to from both teams, I'd say.
I mean, to start your season 2 and 3, come in here, win a nice 3-0, tie up your sort of your count there, is feeling probably pretty good if you are CSP, right? But I like that you bring that up. While yes, you 3-0'd here today, definitely still hit that VOD review. Take the time to look at some of those overheat moments that we did see, because you're gonna have to wonder, maybe if you didn't overheat on those, would this have looked even cleaner? Could you have been even more dominant in some of these rounds. And maybe that's being a little bit nitpicky. Who knows? But
For
like
sure
you mentioned, it is. But I think the important thing to notice here, we still have a lot of Call of Duty left to play in this season. And what you're getting away with now, you definitely will not be able to get away with in those future matches, especially against tougher teams. So still take it, revel in your victory, feel good about getting a 3-0 this week. Still hit that VOD review though. See how you can tighten on up, because you got plenty more opponents coming down the pipe.
Hey, and that flawless map count still stays true for CSP Esports. So, I mean, if they're keeping up with that, they are definitely making some arguments to be had for that top 25 list. But this is a team who has a goal to win their division, win it cleanly, go to playoffs, perform well, and turn some heads. And with this squad and the way that they're looking so far, they look like they can get that goal done in no time. Like you said, lots of Call of Duty to be had here in College COD. This is just week number 3 of our first split here in the 2025 season, Dan, and it has been a blast casting alongside you for today. All 3-0s. It was a quick one. I think this is the quickest we've had it so far throughout the 2025 season. Any finishing thoughts before we send things off?
No, I mean, I think we saw some really great matches here today. Like you said, most of them 3-0s, but I think, sometimes the map count doesn't always reference how close some of these maps really were, especially, I kind of think about that first series that you and I were able to be here in Cass. Well, yes, it was a 3-0. I think we saw Navy show some signs of life and some great promise moving on forward. Same thing that we have here today as well, where the Ottawa Braves, where, yes, while they did get 3-0, they showed a lot of signs of life, some fantastic players. I'm really excited to see how they kind of progress here in the future. And, I wasn't even supposed to be here tonight, but it was awesome being alongside you. I can't wait to be back here tomorrow for even some more banger matches as part of the College COD League. COD, love God, man. It's a great day to be a Call of Duty fan. That's all I'm saying.
Preach it for sure. But that's going to be it for the night. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you're showing love to College COD here and on our socials. And for tomorrow, we'll see you guys with a whole new set of matches, same time, same place. Have a great night.